the collateralized debt obligations, CDAs, which led to the financial crisis in 2007.
Exactly. Yani when you think of the finance sector as a sector that creates wealth, you fall into that trouble. Finance does not create, helps in creating wealth. How can you make it help creating wealth? Only by relating it directly on a one-to-one correspondence. What is the meaning of one-to-one correspondence? It means not a single finance transaction can exist unless associated with a real market transaction to the same size or to a bigger size. Because usually you may not finance 100%, but you cannot definitely finance 120%. See the point? So it is to that size exactly, one-to-one, or to a lesser size. The finance cannot grow more than the real market transaction.
Right. Though we already asked so many questions, but I would like to benefit the best from your presence here, the maximum. So my last question, is there any concept of money in Islam? If I specifically ask, is there any specification about the intrinsic value of the thing which we use as currency in Islam?
Okay. As a matter of fact, no. Some people may think that because gold and silver were the money at the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then we should have gold and silver as our money. Some people think because gold and silver have intrinsic value, because what is the intrinsic, where does the intrinsic value come from? It comes from the other usages of gold and silver, because they are used in nuclear industry today, they are used in many other industry, in nano industry, in many other industries, gold and silver are used, and in the past they were used also in jewelry industry and ornaments and prestige industries, if you can call it. So they, because of industries, if you can call it. So they, because of these other uses, they got intrinsic value. So the idea is not really from Islam itself, it is from historical incidents. And historical incidents do not define what Islam is. What defines what Islam is the revelation in the Quran, or the revelation that came outside the Quran from the sayings of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Again, his sayings, if they are authentically related to us, are based on the revelation given to him. As the Quran says, that it is all what comes from him is revelation. So the point is, in the intrinsic value is a historical incidence, not a revelation issue, and therefore it's not part of Islamic economics. Now we think of it as some people before us thought of it. At one time, Umar ibn al-Khattab, the second Khalifa after the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, Umar ibn al-Khattab thought to create currency from the camel hides. But then some people told him, well, then people will slaughter all camels and Arabs will remain without camels. And the camel was really the life of the Arabs. So he stopped doing that, and he did not do it. So the issue of having intrinsic value is not a matter. Now, what is today's money? Gold is now really became aloof from the monetary section, from the monetary transactions. It's just on the very side. Still has some relations, but only in the mind of some people. Silver is completely now detached from being money, completely, for the last maybe 100 years or maybe more. Now, what is the currency of today then? What makes it currency? It it is the one that I can fulfill my financial obligations with. Now, if I am obligated to you under debt supposed to you of $100 or of 100 unit, can I force you to accept this dollar I give you? If I can force you, and if you don't accept, I'll bring you the police, I take you to law, and the law forces you to do that, then that is money. But if I cannot do that, even if 2-3 people among us accept to take any other item as fulfillment of obligation, but not everybody is required to accept it. This is what we call today legal tender. Money today must be legal tender. If it is a legal tender, that is, it has a legal force that it can be forced on anybody in that economy, then it makes money. And in other words, it is a debt on all the economy. And each member of that economy is required to accept it and give me in exchange either goods and services or release from previous obligations that were on me. So if it's not a legal tender, it cannot be money today. And today we have paper currency, we have currencies in the form of bank current accounts in banks. We have currency in the form of credit created by, when I use my credit card, I create money. Not only banks create money, I also create money. That's fine. As long as it is a legal tender, it is legally binding on everybody. Maybe tomorrow we may have virtual money becoming a legal tender, adopted by an economy, adopted by a government, and enforced on everybody in that economy. We will deal with this virtual money, digital money only. We will deal with it then as money, but not until it becomes a legal tender. Because money of today, after gold and silver have withdrawn themselves from being money, today we need only the legal tender definition to make it money. So acceptability of a group of people is not sufficient. This is what makes, for instance, Bitcoin not a money. And we don't accept in Islamic finance today Bitcoin as money, because it is not adopted by a formal government as a legal tender. In the near future, probably, one country or more than one country, and maybe within 10 years, all countries will adopt virtual money. Then we deal with virtual money at that time. When they become legal tenders, we deal with them as money. And we apply, though, the rule of money, because in Islamic finance, money has special conditions of dealing. You cannot deal with money the same way you deal with goods. Goods have special way, and money have special treatment, different from other goods, from goods and services.
Right. Thank you very much.